Hello, we're back at Top Tech Transport and Logistics, and you know exactly why. It is time for Drive Safe. Yeah, we all need to drive safe and stay alive. My name is Benjamin Akakpo, and it's a pleasure coming your way once more. But right before we get into today's topic, so you think you know. Well, here's another road sign, and we'd like to find out, do you know what this stands for? Okay, so at the tail end of today's segment, we'll find out what exactly this road sign means. But once more, let me say thank you for joining us, CEO of Top Tech Transport and Logistics, Cecil Gabra. I felt like announcing your name like a ring announcer. Cecil Gabra! It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Very soon I'll stop using the Cecil and I'll prefer Ebo Gabra.
Ebo Gabra.
Yes.
Why Ebo though?
Tuesday born.
Oh, yes.
That's all.
Yes, yes.
Tuesday fancy boy.
Yeah. The fancy day inside.
Yes, yes.
Let's get into today's topic. We'll be talking about the causes, factors and causes of road traffic accidents with a specific focus on buses, especially around this time. But I just want us to take a minute to wrap up on car tires, and I want us to look at, so all these things you said about the car tires, how do we properly service and maintain the car tires so they can last the 6-year span properly? What do we do?
Okay, so tire rotation is very important. If you don't rotate your tires and then you are using, let's say, 4x4, you realize that power is being driven from the rear. So that tires will definitely be bad tires if you don't change them within a period of 1 year. You will realize that they are getting older, and then the front will be newer. The tread limit on the back tires will almost get to the 1.6 millimeter mark, but the front will be higher. So rotate your tires after every 3 months.
After every 3 months?
Yes, after every 3 months, or after every 5,000 kilometers, whichever comes first.
Right.
Okay, if it's 3 months. But somebody will ask, so, I mean, if I'm not using my vehicle, what happens? Yes, if you are ready to use your vehicle, you need to rotate your tires. And remember, if you are traveling for, let's say, more than 3 months, you need to elevate your tires so your tires will not touch the ground.
Right.
Tires must not be at one place forever.
So you're going out of town for a while, you must do all of that.
Yes, at
elevate
least
the car.
Yes, if it's more than 3 months, your tires must be up. It shouldn't be touching the ground.
Okay.
And that saves, it's part of maintenance of the tires. Check for damages, check for cracks. If you see any of them on the side walls, then you should know you need to buy 2 new tires. And never fix 2 new tires at the back. Always fix it at the front. And then after a period of 3 months, you bring them at the rear. There are lots more to learn on car tires.
I guess we would never finish that chapter. Maybe some of the time we'll get back to that subject. But let's focus on today's core lesson, which has to do with the causes, factors and causes of road traffic accidents, especially around this time. What are some of the things we ought to be looking out for, especially considering our buses, the big ones that convey a lot of people to and fro?
Thank you so much, Ben. We always hear bus accidents, and honestly, I am not going to discriminate, but I think for those private companies, they need what we call a transport audit. And when I'm talking about a transport audit, we need the team full of engineers to enter the premises of A, B, and C bus terminal, and then inspect the buses and find out whether really they are roadworthy to travel. Forget about the DVLA roadworthiness test, but
Why should we forget about them?
Yes, but that is just one day. Somebody can do a dress rehearsal, fix new tires, go for the DVLA test, and come back and fix old tires. Okay, sometimes some of them go and borrow tires. They borrow others so that they can pass the what I call the DVLA test. But again, I am saying we need to do a transport audit. Check whether the buses have got the right engine. I'm talking about the engine capacity. Sometimes the engine capacity of those buses are even bigger than the bus itself. Yes, it happens a lot. It happens because of those buses that are bought from outside, those second-hand buses. They have worked on them. Is that a right engine? Is the engine bigger than the vehicle? You need to check it. You need to check the seats, whether they conform with the specifications of the bus. Okay, some seats are angle ironed. When I say angle iron, these are thick iron, steel iron, which are heavier, and it affects the weight of the vehicle. Right? What about the Tyres? I remember on your station some time ago, I told somebody, if you are traveling around this time, go around the Tyres and check whether you don't have any worn out Tyres. Okay, Tyres must be checked. Do they conform to the dates? And then don't forget, we've spoken about speed limiters. They really need to fix the speed limiters. And these are some of the issues that we are having on the highways that are causing a lot more of accidents. We don't do all these checks, especially for those private companies that run buses. But for STC, which is for the government, I would say a big plus to them. I would say it's safer, and we need to patronize their services than going to such those killer buses.
There's something, as you spoke, that came to mind. You know, nowadays, a lot of the vehicles that we are bringing into town, we switch the what do you call it, the steering. You get it. All of that is in there, and sometimes the electrical work is not done properly. What is your quick take on that? I don't know, but it just came to mind as you spoke about all of these things in our buses. Some of these new vehicles coming through, we are switching the steering from right to left, left to right, and all of that, and it's creating all sorts of problems. Of course, here we have left-hand steering.
Thank you, Ben. But then I will say we should go first to the LI. What's the LI saying? The LI says we must not allow such vehicles in. Okay? But what do we see? They come in, and I think they pass through the system and they go to workshop, and I ask myself, why? Because a lot of things on that vehicle has been calibrated by the manufacturer. And therefore, for instance, if you pick up what we call the master cylinder, that's the brake system, it is on the right and it will be shifted to the left. That whole system is calibrated. And do we have the equipment to calibrate it here? If you talk about the brain box, that's the motherboard of the whole vehicle, that also has got tiny wires that is fixed to the brain of this vehicle. So that will also be moved from the right to the left. The wires will be moved and then will be tampered with it. We don't have the equipment. Although we have the OBD equipment, that's the onboard diagnosis equipment to check and so on. You will not believe it that those mechanics even cut off the wires and then remove the lights from the dashboard. So when you start it, you will not have the truth of what has happened. So I feel the government should be very specific on such vehicles that come. And it all started when we had what we call the anti-day buses, that is the double-decker buses, which were right-hand and then were converted to left hand in the country. And I'll say that is where I think the law was amended. And I mean, you see Toyota vehicles, Yaris, there's another one. It's being converted, and then instead of the trafficator being on the left, it's on the right. Okay, it's not the best. I wouldn't ask people to go in for such vehicles because the calibration may fail. There you go. They have removed bulbs that will communicate with you as a user to the vehicle and so on. But if those bulbs have removed, how do we communicate? So I think we should look at the laws again and then stop them from being imported into this country.
Well, there you have it from the mouth of the expert. These are the things we should know. Today we've learned about some of the causes, factors and causes of road traffic accidents, especially taking a look at our buses, We've also we started by looking at proper maintenance of our car tires. And we just took a look at this whole bit about switching steerings and entire systems in cars as we keep bringing them into our country. We keep learning and we keep getting to know more about how to protect our own lives and protect the lives of those out there. But right before we wrap, you think you know? Well, this is the answer for today's quiz question. And there you have it. It's a wrap for another segment of Drive Safe with me, Benjamin Akakbo. It's always a pleasure. Hold on, and the next time we'll bring you the next part of the segment.